Hello, Explorer Bookworms. We're here at the London International Book Fair, or the LBF 2026, and we're here again at Explorer Books for the second year. Imagine that this is our second year being here, but this time we're not at the second floor. We're not at the Hall B, we're at the Hall A, or the main exhibit hall, and we're at the ground floor. We're in the middle of the hustle and bustle of LBF 2026, where everyone in the literary industry, in the book industry, publishing industry converge in one roof. And this is a historical event you shouldn't miss. So if you're in London or you're anywhere near London and you can fly here, there's still one more day to come here and drop by and meet our authors here at Explorer Books. Now, speaking of Explorer Books, we have an author who has such great humor. We've been laughing all day with 𝘐 𝘩𝘪𝘯𝘬, the author of not just one, not just two, but 3 interesting books that you have to grab, you have to read, and you have to get from Amazon, because these are now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble online, and all leading digital bookstores. I'm talking about 𝘐 𝘩𝘪𝘯𝘬. I think, therefore, I am probably wrong. The Whatever Became of Jonathan Livingston Seagull and the Breakfast Clock in Such a Clearly Fruitcake's World, and another book entitled So What's in It For Me. Hello, Mike, and welcome to Explorer Books booth.
Great introduction. It's a great crowd, a lot of energy, and like you said, it's my first time, and I'm just amazed at how much is going on here.
This is such a huge event, am I right? I mean, you wouldn't know where you are. I mean, if you're gonna be placed in one area, you know where the exits are. You know, we should be looking for that now, in case there's fire.
Well, you know, they get, what, 20 to 30,000 people attend.
Yeah.
So it's a mega event, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
I'm glad for the support.
And we're so lucky to have you, because we finally have an author with 3 books. I mean, this is the first time that we're having an author with 3 books and doing a book signing here at our booth. Tell us, Mike, about your background before we delve into the story, the writing.
Okay.
Tell us about your background. What have you been doing for the past decades?
I'm the son of a military family, so I've traveled all over the States. I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico, I've been to England, and
Well traveled.
France, only in retirement. So, I'm an educator by training. I was a high school principal for 22 years. I taught at the college level for several years. I ran a residential school home for emotionally disturbed children.
Wow.
Having had all those experiences, I spent a great deal of my time reflecting on why people behave the way they do, and how we talk to each other, and relationships, and so that's been the recurring theme in all of my books.
Yeah, that's okay. That's amazing. So that's what the core message for that makes these books the same, right? Because these are different genres. Am I right?
Well, each book, the latest book builds on the second one, which builds on the first one. So there is some common content, which I would expect, but they address different things.
Yeah.
I always tell a story. If 2 people might be talking to each other, and they're significant others, and they're both talking and using the same words. Neither one has got a clue what the other one's saying. And that's hard to have a relationship when you're not communicating.
Yeah.
So the first book, that's what it addresses, is why is it that we think differently than we do? We can think emotionally, subconsciously, and it blurts out. You may be right, may be wrong.
Yeah.
Or you can stop and reflect, be rational, non-emotional. We're not going to make any more progress with the emotional person, but at least you can kind of help guide in what goes on.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of address in this book. I think that's where I am, but I might be wrong too, okay?
Very humorous. There's wit in your
Well,
I love that. You have a very good cover. For those whoever created that cover, I think therefore I am probably wrong.
man, most of humanity is going in 2 different directions, unfortunately.
That's right.
And there's not a lot of space, unfortunately, for us to get back together. And that's the times we're living in.
Yeah.
And we just have to see that hands out.
Yeah. I have seen the back cover and there is a political element to the book. Can you tell us about the political element? Everyone's interested in politics nowadays.
To be politically correct,
Yeah.
I could not understand how people were making the decisions that they made to support either political candidate in the 2016 American presidential race.
Yeah.
To find no rational, valid conclusion or process that anyone could take that would say the conservative candidate was the candidate to vote for.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of research, and in that I found out we're just a world that thinks in two different ways. We're not going to change how we think. And so that's the political element. If I can show this clip for a second.
Sure.
The political element is reflected in the breakfast flock. The breakfast flock is going to be more conservative thinking. And Jonathan, who tries his own path, tries to help others, pays it forward, is looking for belonging and contentment, fulfillment, authenticity, has a better chance of doing it. But we all live in a fruitcake world.
Yeah.
There's a limit to how authentic we can become.
Okay. Yeah.
So everybody's happy with who they think they are.
Okay.
We may differ in what we think, but this is about as good as it's going to get. The expression "it is what it is" apropos here because however we are behaving at any given moment, that is the best that we can behave.
Wow.
And that takes a long time to absorb. And we're doing the best we can.
Wow. That's beautiful. So beautiful. I think there's a lot of messages that can help people really understand each other. Am I right? In the books that you've written. Now tell us about the core message of "So what's in it for me?" It is what it is. America's story might be in crisis, but yours and mine don't have to be. Tell us about this.
Well, one of my biggest folk heroes is Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens. And he was probably one of the first social psychologists on the American scene. And he very accurately described it was not very nice about America's character. And his other thing was that he believed in story. I believe that we measure the value of our life by the stories we live and the stories we have to tell that reflects. Are we negative? Are we positive? Are we proactive? Are we not?
Yeah.
So I spent a life working on story. But there was a car commercial several years ago, 3 words: relentless pursuit of perfection.
Relentless pursuit of perfection.
And that's what life is.
Yeah.
3 separate words put together. If you're pursuing excellence in your life, you need to accept that it's a solitary journey. Others aren't going to understand you. Others aren't going to buy into what you're saying. But that doesn't necessarily negate who you are and where you become.
Yes.
Okay? So in this book, I just point out we are born alone. We die alone, and in between, we basically live alone. And it's how you live with that aloneness that determines the quality of your life and the story you have. Most folks, the flock, buy the same religion, they buy the same clothes, they want the same kind of house. In doing so, that's what they perceive as they've made it, they've arrived, and they belong.
Success. Yeah.
And that, I'd like to think that success is really measured by the friends that you have, the stories you have. Are you paying it forward? Are you helping others? And I like to think that that's what success means, for at least me.
Yeah.
So that was the title on this one, okay? A psychiatrist in New York City, 𝘗𝘩𝘪𝘳𝘧𝘰𝘳𝘦, says in his therapy sessions with his clients we need to accept the idea that not belonging is a gift.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but non-belonging can be a gift, and I buy into that. We don't have to belong to be happy. We don't have to belong to be successful. Yeah, exactly that.
Right.
Exactly that.
That's amazing. So all of these books have, it feels like to me this is highly intellectual, something that people can pick up some lessons from. But it's actually very straightforward. Am I right?
The prose hopefully is straightforward.
Yeah.
I write. My background is scientific training,
Okay.
but I don't like scientific speakies. If we're going to talk to someone, use pragmatic language.
Yeah.
Okay. A big part of all three books is music. The music that we live and enjoy reflects how we're doing on that journey of life.
Yeah.
I quote a lot of famous sayings and quotes and cliches that we all live our life by. Where's the beach? Different lights, okay? Well, where's your heart? Where's your soul?
Yes.
Where is how you live in your life? So I try to keep it on a simple level, but you hit on a very important part. If you read this, most writings say, well, here's how to fix everything. There are no fixes in my writing.
Okay.
There is the acceptance of where you are.
Okay.
There is the acknowledgement that we probably are genetically limited,
Yeah.
and how far we can progress and how far we can go. And that it's okay to be that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the overall message.
Yeah.
That's why in this book, America is clearly in crisis, as are most of the countries in the world. We've always been in crisis. But you don't have to be, and I don't have to be. If we accept and understand the limitations, we can be happy within that framework. And that's the real message in this book. Okay? The real message in this book is we can do that in a crazy world and still have fun.
Yes.
Okay?
In an imperfect world, you have to get to accept that and just live your life, right? Hopefully live, love, and laugh.
Hopefully.
Do you think, for me, I mean, I'm interested personally that, do you think that all these problems in the world is all because we are striving too hard to achieve a certain goal, despite our limitations? Do you think that's, that's limiting us, or?
We're achieving all that we can genetically achieve. That's very critical. It's understandably we have limits.
Yeah.
Our genes set our green lights, and life sets the red lights in what we achieve.
Yeah.
And what we achieve, hopefully, is self-actualization. Here's the problem. We've been led astray by saying that our self-concept, our self-image is based on what others think of us. Okay? The best book that I never read had the best title.
Okay, what is it?
What you think of me is none of my business.
Okay.
Now think about that. What you think of me is none of my business.
Yeah.
I can live life and be happy, and I don't have to belong to your group. I don't have to aspire to drive the right car. I don't have to aspire to marry the best looking man or woman that's out there. So if we understand these things, it takes a lifetime to come to grips with it.
That's true.
We don't have to fight a losing battle. Be happy with who you are. Be happy in your own skin.
That's beautiful. Now, I'm curious, Mike. At what point in your life were you able to realize all these? That I had to write a book about this because you are a high school principal. I mean, these are not things that are really in line with everything you do on a daily basis. Although you had some background in psychology, if I may. So when did it arrive, or when did it come to you? I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna start doing the manuscript. My first few words, and go from there.
My journey started when I was 14 years old. I didn't write at 14. When I was 14, I came home from school, and I walked in times back then, the ladies would sit around the kitchen table drinking coffee coffee, eating cake. In the 7th grade, I walked in, and all 4 women were talking at the same time. Now, if all 4 are talking, who's listening? The problem is we don't listen to each other. So on that day, I started writing my last chapter. I started living the way I wanted to be seen when I got to this point in life. So I've been writing my last chapter since I was 14. I made decisions on how I was going to live. I made decisions on where I want to live, who I want to live with, how I wanted to interact with people. So I got into education. I wanted to engage others to become the best they could be.
Yes.
And that's pretty much what we strove for and everything we did. So then, when I got to retirement, I said it's time now to officially write the last chapter in your book here. I'll flip over to it real quick.
Sure, no problem.
That's 7.
And there you go.
This is the first chapter in the book. You write the last chapter first. Mark Twain started that.
Yeah.
But this, you write into this chapter is how you want to wind up, how you want to end up.
Yeah.
And then when you get here, you see what you did.
Yeah, that's
So I've been writing since I was 14.
Write in reverse.
Well,
Beautiful.
in reverse. Instead of going after things you don't accept, let's establish what I want at an early age and then live it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. At 14 years old, you already have the passion to write and realizations. I mean, when I was 14, I don't know where I was. I was playing games, playing video games, but you at that time were already thinking about.
Well, and part of that is my family was a military family. We moved frequently. It was very hard for me to figure out how to make friends and then lose them. So I learned to listen.
Yeah.
And the best way to make friends is to let other people talk and tell you what keeps them happy.
Yeah.
And you've got all kinds of friends.
Is it because you're transferring from one place to another and to another?
That would reinforce the initial thinking I was having.
Yeah. And I think that also reinforced the character in you that I'm gonna be that you've been with a lot of people and you see the differences between personalities, right?
We travel a great deal in our retirement camp, all over the country, and I discovered this a long time ago. At least for our speaks of Canada and America, because we're so very similar. Canadians are much nicer, but anyway.
In what way?
They're polite. They say thank you. The highways are clear. Here's the one that gets me. In America, we say do not pass. In Canada, they say please merge politely. That's the road sign. I think, wow, it would be nice to get on that way. And there's other things there. I'm glad I'm American, but I love Canadians. I don't want to see as our 53rd state, but I love Canada. I forgot where I was going, but
it's okay. But I think all of those books, those are something that Americans should read.
Everybody should read.
Everybody should read, of course, especially Americans.
And be willing to be honest with yourself.
Yes.
If you happen to see yourself in the writing.
Wow.
Okay?
Be honest when you see yourself in the right. That's a beautiful message right there. Again, for all our Explore Bookworms out there watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, these books written by Michael Self are now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other leading digital bookstores. You will see the QR code right there just below the screen, and you can take out your phones and scan them, and you will see the Amazon link. And order your copies now. Thank you very much, Michael. But before anything else, please do invite everyone watching us here on YouTube to grab copies of your book.
Well, obviously, I didn't write for myself. I'm not trying to make a lot of money. I'm interested in sharing my point of view, and this is probably the best way to do that.
Wow, amazing. And this is a legacy that you're leaving for the next generations. And 𝘐 Books will be there with you. Thank you for trusting 𝘐 Books. And we're committed to really getting this out to London Book Fair and wherever we're going, digitally or physically. Mike, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, so for all our 𝘐 Bookwearers out there, again, the Amazon QR code is located below the screen. Scan it right now and get to see Michael Salv's masterpieces right there on Amazon, and it will be delivered or shipped to your very doorstep. Thank you very much. This has been Joel right here at London Book Fair 2026 at booth 6F108. See you next time. Goodbye.